Hello, hello, hello. Today I'm going to be talking about a special book that basically changed my life. Um, it is called Increase Your Financial IQ from Robert Kiyosaki. Get smarter with your money. And you know what? I don't exactly, a year ago, I didn't exactly get into a lot of financial books before. The first financial book I've ever read in my life was Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I didn't really take on the principles because I was young and I was stupid, right? And I spent my money poorly, right? That's just the honest truth. I spent my money poorly. I didn't know how to invest money. I didn't know what assets were. I didn't know a great deal of things that would probably have made me better off now if I just took on those principles. And the thing that makes the Rich Dad book different from the book of financial IQ is I'll tell you briefly a story of what I went through. And I was working at this place, basically an Amazon warehouse, right? And I'm not gonna say anything bad about Amazon, but there's some things that are going on there that I don't think was legal. well, uh, let me just skip that entirely, right? It was just really hard work, right? It was really hard work, and it wasn't reasonable work, right? And there's this thing where when you do work for a long time and something that you don't like doing, you start to realize what you really want to do in life and what you need to do to make security in your life, right? So I was in that mindset, right? And long story short, I quit that job, right? Because it just didn't line up to my values. What led me to this book was a video that I watched on YouTube about this guy who he was teaching driver's ed, right? And he had a YouTube channel that I would say it was pretty successful. I think he was like 100,000 subscribers or something like that. And he had, for his 100,000 subscriber celebration, he talked about this book and how the principles in this book made him, gave him the idea of what are assets and what's good debt, what's bad debt. And it's just, I'm like, how are you how did you come to this mindset, right? How did you reach this this milestone, because 100,000 people is a lot, and at the same time, even if you get 20 or 30% of those people who help you in a way of like in services, that's still like a lot of money, right? And also, you already know YouTube, it has like AdSense and makes money when you're sleeping and all that stuff. And it just put me in perspective of like, I need to understand what assets are, because the people around me actually don't know about money. They don't know how to invest properly, don't know how to use their skills to make high income. They don't have high income skills. And I was just so pushed to understand why the world is the way it is, right? And in this book, I learned something that it was so pivotal, to me. And that was this one thing that Robert Kiyosaki talked about from what happened before 1972. And I don't want to spoil a lot of what's inside the book, but the rules of money, he mentions this thing called the rules of money changed. And when he said that, I was like, what do you mean? The rules of money have always been the same, right? But no, it has changed. Before 1972, there was this system, basically, you go to school, you go, you get a good education, and you get a job, right? Or you search for a job that, will take care of you, basically. And the companies back then, and back in the day, were really good. They would basically have a really good health plan or have a really good retirement plan, and you just have to just work as an employee until, even when you were done with that job, they would still take care of you after an old age, right? And that was just how things were, right? But there's this whole, I don't know if you guys know about the story about Robin Hood, but the story of Robin Hood was basically, steal from the rich, give to the poor, and the poor and the middle class understood what that was, and they were like, it's kind of fair that the rich don't get taxed, right? Or everybody should have, something that it's like gives back to the poor, the middle class, right? So the middle class and the poor, so the government, I'm like paraphrasing, but the government basically said, hey, you guys like the whole idea of Robin Hood, stuff for rich, give it to the poor, we're gonna tax everybody, right? And because of that happened, because of income tax happened, because of everybody being taxed for their income, the companies that used to take care of people going, you can get out of school and you find a good company or whatever, and they stopped doing that, right? And then they implemented the 401k. The 401k, or mutual funds, was created because of that concept, right? And the thing that's crazy about mutual funds is that when you reach a certain age in your life, you go to the bank, they almost, it's not like they demand it. It feels like they demand it, but they push you into getting a mutual funds account, right? Because you put a certain amount of money in there. Maybe they take like $20 or $100 from your account every month, and it goes inside, a mutual fund. What that is just like stocks that you don't exactly have control over. It's like other different stocks are like put together, and the decision of it accumulates over time, but it accumulates extremely slow, right? And you can't exactly get out of it, this is what was it's like a pool of money going into there, right? But everybody puts in a certain amount, and if the market goes up, right, you make a little bit of money, right? But if the market goes down, which happened in 2008, when the market crashed, everybody lost everything. It was so devastating that people, just imagine you don't have a retirement fund, and you're like in your 60s. It's pretty crazy, right? And Robert Kiyosaki warns you about that, or warns you about not investing into a mutual funds account, not investing into a 401k, because it doesn't make sense to celebrate all that money when you're like 60 or 70 years old, because you don't have the energy to freaking do that. You don't have the energy to have like to celebrate your life, to enjoy your life, right? So the reason I got this book, and the reason why I love this book, is because it started to tell me about basic fundamentals that I should know to actually save money. And it's not exactly saving money, it's being able to increase my income and using my skills that build more income for myself, and being an expert in that. And I can't stress it enough that the way people are thinking of how to build income is just terrible. It's like, it's poor values that has been created from, because I know most people, their parents were immigrants, and they came over here and they came from poor background, and then they started to make something of themselves, and then they tell you, hey, you need to go to school, and then when you go to school you can get yourself a good job, and that is the old system of before 1972, right? Because the company, like I said before, the company will take care of you. My father worked for a company called Massey Ferguson, right? And he did, welding and pipe fitting. And he was working there for a good few years, maybe 10 something years, right? He got into an accident, on the job, and to this day, he still gets paid from Master Ferguson, right? That is, that is the benefit of what they had, companies before had for people. You don't have, like, in this time and day, a lot of companies don't have that for people, right? And the reason why they don't have that, because that whole Robin Hood mentality, the whole Robin Hood story, became popular, and it kind of screwed over everybody. So one thing to end with is that the reason why the rich don't get taxed as much as the middle class and the poor is because the middle class and the poor are greedy. And they only care about their family and friends and the people in their group, right? The rich people care about everybody. And not everybody as in like, oh, they're Mother Teresa or whatever. They serve more people. If you serve more people, your income increases. It's very simple, but it has to come from a good place. It has to come from a good place within yourself to give that, And you cannot give anything unless you have something tangible to give to people, right? And this is why he tells you in the book of, Financial IQ, is to have high income skills, be an expert in what you do, and be able to deliver that. So, I don't know if you guys would like to check out this book. I have my Amazon link in the description below. Check it out if you like it. If you don't like it, I don't know. I think it impacted my life. I think this book and there's another book that is really good. This book and a book called FU Money from Dan Lok. Really good book. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. There's really valuable stuff inside here, and I'm glad I was able to share it with you. Like the video. And if you want me to make more videos of like finance and stuff, I have like a whole section of books that I want to cover. So there's gonna be more of these coming out. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Peace.